You've undoubtedly heard the phrase pay to play. Within the context of politics, it's a politician is getting a kickback or relying upon heavy political donations and then sees that whatever outcome or interest that person who donated the money gets attention. Have you ever heard of pay to pray, though? It is Sunday, right? I ran across this article that I'm going to read a little bit from, but I'm also going to show you this chart that is just remarkable. The open corruption that is involved in Donald Trump's inaugural committee. This same kind of thing happened in 2017 with his first inauguration, where all of these groups were booking rooms in Donald Trump's hotel, which is no longer Donald Trump's hotel here in D.C. It's no longer the Trump International. It's now the Waldorf Astoria, because as soon as he was out of the office, he just sold the contract to somebody else. It's no longer his thing. But they're still finding ways for corruption, for charging money for prayer services. If you want to pray alongside the First Lady and our most Christian president of the United States, you can pay or raise $100,000. $200,000 you can raise. Here's the ticket and the information, the sliding scale. If you want, 2 tickets to the One America, One Light Sunday service, you can either give $100,000 to just have the distinct pleasure of being in the room while everybody prays to their God. You know, just the way Jesus would have done it. You know, all the pay to pray vigils that Jesus hosted while out on the campaign trail. Yeah. So I'm going to read a little bit from this article. This is from Religion News Service. And here's the headline. At Trump's inauguration, reports of a pay to pray, I didn't come up with it, clever. According to a report, you can pray with Trump and Melania. It'll only cost you $100,000. President-elect Donald Trump's transition team is reportedly planning an interfaith prayer service the day before his inauguration, where participants can worship alongside the businessman and his wife, Melania. But those who want to join need to weigh the price of prayer. Tickets to the service will be awarded only to those who donate at least $100,000 to Trump's inaugural ceremonies or who raise $200,000. Earlier this month, Axios cited a 7-page prospectus that lists the service alongside several other donor-only events, such as a cabinet reception with Trump's nominees and a candlelight dinner with Trump and Melania. According to the report, if a donor gives $1 million or raises $2 million, they'll earn 6 tickets to the suite of inauguration events. There's 3 more paragraphs here that I want to read from, but the obvious problem here is that you're buying access to high-level, soon-to-be government officials. Just on its face, that's corrupt. Buying access to people who will then see that your particular political interest or business interest or cultural interest or societal interest is seen to. That it will have an eye. You will have an ally in the White House of Donald Trump, but only, can you hear that? Only if you pay up. That's my fingers rubbing together. I wish I had a longer mustache so I could twist the corner as I hatch a plan. This is how disgusting and self-dealing this is. And it is a vision of what is to come. It will be a Trump 2.0 here in Washington, D.C. The article continues. Officials for Trump's transition team did not respond to requests to confirm the service. No details about where the event will occur or who will be involved were specified in the prospectus. The morning of Trump's first inauguration in 2017, the president-elect sat for a prayer service at St. John's Episcopal Church, a historic location across from Lafayette Square from the White House. The church, often referred to as the Church of the Presidents, later became known as the site where Trump posed with a Bible during the Black Lives Matter demonstrations on June 1st, 2020. Among He jumps to it, doesn't really explain exactly what happened to remind people of what took place on that day, on that fated day where peaceful protesters, and not peaceful protesters who were actually up to no good, literal peaceful protesters who were doing nothing but utilizing and exercising their First Amendment right under the Constitution of these United States, the same Constitution that Donald Trump rose his right hand and swore an oath to protect and serve. They gassed these peaceful protesters. They sent jackbooted thugs, armed agents of the state to remove the protesters so then Donald Trump could march across with his gaggle of fucking idiots and hold up a Bible in a ham-fisted metaphor if there ever was one. The violator of human rights marched across to hold up a Bible that he has no idea the contents of. Remember, can't even name his favorite scripture, his favorite book, which testament he likes the most. 2 Corinthians, it's a Bible. We get it. Couple more paragraphs here. Among the racial justice demonstrators forcibly removed from Lafayette Square and the surrounding area just before Trump's Bible photo op were a seminarian and an Episcopal priest who, at the behest of the local Episcopal diocese, were handing out water to protesters from St. John's patio. At the time, the incident prompted outrage from the Right Reverend Marianne Budd, who oversees the Episcopal Diocese of Washington, telling Religion News Service she was horrified by the events of the day. And here's Donald Trump profiting from prayer, profiting from his deeply held religious convictions. Donald Trump is absolutely no different than a prosperity preacher. He's just very open about his corruption. He doesn't try to wrap it up in the Bible in some bastardization of the words of Jesus and the philosophies of Jesus. This is gross. This is corrupt. This is politically disgusting, but it's blasphemous to have a pay-to-pray event with a serial adulterer, with a violator of human rights, with someone who wants to enact mass deportations on God's children. And yet, there will be Christians who will pay up for the pleasure of praying with their cult leader, blaspheming their own Christian faith. Gross. What do you think? Obviously, no one is surprised by this. No one is shocked by this. But I would love your opinion. You can comment below. You can also call the voicemail line, 714-576-4054. And of course, as always, you can email me daily@dollemore.com. I love and appreciate you very much. If you would like to support this work, help contribute to this independent news channel, I would appreciate that. For $2 a month, you could do just that. Click the join button below, become a channel member. Go over to my Patreon page, patreon.com/IDoubtItPodcast. All great ways to help support this work. You can also go over to dollemore.info. I think it's dollemore.com now, just regular old .com, run-of-the-mill.com. You can get yourself a sticker, some mugs, a tote, t-shirts, with all of the stupid slogans that I've said over the years. But some important ones too, like fight poverty, not the poor. An actual a Christian type of message, although it's not meant to be religious, it's just meant to be decent. Speaking of decency, I'll see you next time. Be genuine. Take care of one another.